I want to invite you to my home on a Sunday morning. My wife and I, we have a running joke that the singer Lionel Richie, that he's not a Christian. And the reason we joke about that is because Lionel Richie has a song in which he sings that it's easy like Sunday morning. Now, I don't know about you, but there is nothing easy about Sunday morning at our house. We have 4 children, and trying to get everybody out the door at a specified time. I know this probably doesn't happen at your house, but occasionally we have shoe monsters or belt monsters that hide belts, or we can't find Bibles. Yeah, Sunday morning is chaos. And because of that, we have what we often call do-it-yourself breakfast on Sundays. Usually it'll consist of boxes of granola bars or cereal. I want you to imagine coming to my house on a Sunday morning. You walk into the kitchen and you see a familiar box of cereal. Some of you remember eating this when you were little. It's a box of cereal called Alphabets. It's all the letters of the alphabet made up in cereal. Now, I want you to imagine as you get closer to the table, you recognize that box and it's been spilled over. And as you look on the table, right there in front of you, spelled out very neatly, is the words, "Take out the garbage," and it's signed Mom. Now, if I asked you, do you think that happened by chance? I don't think any reasonable, logical person would believe that. In fact, you could probably dump cereal out onto the counter the rest of your life, and you would never get that sequence of words. Take out the garbage, Mom. And yet, that's just 5 words. Think about that for just a moment and compare it to the human body and the message that we find in each one of our cells. You see, right now in your body, every single cell has what we call DNA. It's kind of the blueprint for life. That DNA actually codes for things like the color of your eyes or the color of your hair. Now, we ask the question, how big or how long is that DNA? Well, if we were to take a very simple organism, like a single-celled amoeba, okay, just a one-cell organism, and we unroll all the DNA in that single-celled organism, do you realize the DNA code of a single amoeba would take roughly 1,000 volumes of an encyclopedia? 1,000 volumes. And friends, that's for just a single cell amoeba. That's not a complex organism like man. Now, if you're going to tell me you can't get 5 words by chance, take out the garbage, Mom, how in the world are you going to get thousands of volumes exactly correct in the right sequence? And it poses 2 questions, doesn't it? Where did the parts for that code come from? And more importantly, who programmed that code? Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I have told thousands of people, if you can't trust the first verse of this book, why would you trust anything to follow? If you have a Bible, open it up to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 1, and let's read just a few verses in this chapter. We'll start at verse 18, where Paul wrote this: "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness." Did you catch that? They had men back then who were suppressing the truth. He goes on to say, "Because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they didn't glorify him as God, nor were they thankful, but they became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools." Friends, it is my hope that when you think about the complexity of man, when you think about the design of DNA, that you realize there has to be a designer. And it is my hope and my prayer that you will live your life in obedience to that designer. Next time you eat a bowl of cereal, I hope you'll think on these things.